All right, this is State of Michigan versus Kiwan Montgomery, case 24058777401. Today is the date set for a bond redetermination hearing. Appearances, please.
Thank you, Judge. And again, good morning, Steve Vincent for the people.
Thank you, Cyril Hall, on behalf of Mr. Montgomery.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Hall. Good to see you, sir.
I'm trying to come in some kind of way. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you could have came in live, but you're on this Zoom screen.
Oh, okay. I don't see it on my side. That's why. Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Montgomery, sir, could you state your name for the record?
Kiwan Montgomery.
All right, thank you, Mr. Montgomery. Today is the date set for a redetermination hearing. Bond is set intentionally unaffordable. Well, who's representing Mr. Montgomery right now? Is it you, Mr. Hall, or is there Mr. Bazzi?
I was going to do it, Mr. Bazzi. He's doing another matter in circuit court, although he just walked in when he saw I was having difficulty. So we're both sitting.
Okay, so Mr. Hall asked the bond. What can you tell me?
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, what occurred was this young man's family came. Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my clerk.
Okay, I'm sorry. This young man's family came to my office yesterday. There was multiple family members and they all had videos and they were concerned about, which is not necessarily relevant to the day, but I just want to give the court some background. They were concerned about how they were treated by the police, and about 8 of them had different videos, and I looked at them, and I'm going to refer them back to the police department to make a report. But anyway, we were doing an arraignment on this young man, and he had another ticket outstanding, and as a result of that, the judge was concerned about it, and based on the allegations involved in this case. But the court should be aware that this was at their residence. The police wanted them to move off the grass. They were having not a block party, which has been a concern in the community, but they were having a family party, and the police wanted them to move. And Judge, I had an opportunity to read the police report in this matter. When I read the police report, I see all the civilian statements, and the civilian statements are in contrast to what the police are saying about what happened. This is a young man, Your Honor, he can't make this particular bond. He had another ticket outstanding. The judge gave him a personal bond with respect to that, and that was a resisting case also. This is an individual that would reappear at any time designated by the court. His sister has a personal bond. He can't afford a child, but this young man receives SSI, and he part-time works with a relative driving a truck. They do some moving. So he's virtually indigent, and the reason that we're involved in this particular matter is because there might have been a civil rights violation, and but for that, I wouldn't be here bothering the court. But I would respectfully urge upon the court, in light of the fact that he has retained counsel, to give consideration to a personal bond.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hall. Mr. Vincent has the bond.
Thank you, Judge. I'll definitely give consideration to this case for there being no flight risk. I appreciate the fact that defense counsel is involved. I'm sure he's very good at what he does. That, though, doesn't take away from what allegedly occurred here. And when we talk about witnesses, and I'm sure defense counsel, I believe he even said that he ended up receiving a copy of the report. In terms of witnesses, and I'll take defense counsel at his word, regarding what he has, but the length of the police officers involved in what they're willing to testify to. And these were police officers that were there that allegedly were attempting to try to disperse a crowd. And then it was this defendant allegedly who didn't like those orders that ended up, and when we talk about R&Os, the court's always interested in what part of the, obstructing, resisting, or assaulting was involved. This was the actual assaulting of police officers. I mean, we have pictures of police officers that corroborate the alleged allegations that this defendant didn't like being told to disperse, whether or not it was his house or not, ends up getting into a fighting stance with police officers and then starts striking them. Actually, I think in this particular investigation, it talks about officers being struck several times in the head. On page 2 of the investigation, I ended up just paying particular note to the 4th paragraph, which in and of itself focuses on this defendant. That there were other police officers that needed to come to help out the initial police officer that allegedly got struck in the back of the head by the complaining witness. And then the defendant continued, asked not to, even after the police officer got struck in the head, continued to advance in a threatening manner, and then subsequently struck a police officer several times in the face and head, ultimately having to be tased in order for this incident to find a calming. Now, defense counsel was right. I wasn't part of this arraignment, but I did hear the arraignment. Allegedly, there is some type of ordinance violation, misdemeanor, I don't know, regarding this same defendant with this same type of charge, only to a lesser degree because it's that ordinance for misdemeanor. But the people, I believe, also asked for more. And the magistrate ended up giving the 5,000 cash or surety just based on the particulars here. So again, defense counsel, I'm sure is great at what he does. Defendant's gonna need a really great lawyer in this matter, just based on the allegations, the witnesses, the testimony of what apparently is going to be. So respectfully, Judge, it's 5,000 cash or surety, but we're gonna ask you to continue this.
All right, I've had a chance to review the investigators' reports. And as far as resisting and obstructing go, at least allegedly, these are, some of the, I guess, some of the more assaultive descriptions of what occurred in these reports. But I would also note that this is a felony with a maximum penalty of up to 2 years, and guidelines for someone without a felony record are going to lead to a probationary offense.
Wait, drove himself fiction.
Mr. Toussaint, 1 second. I'm gonna put you on mute. All right. I don't have a capious history in this matter. While I do believe that Mr. Montgomery poses some danger, I don't believe that this can not be that a cash bond is necessary to ensure the safety of the public at this time. I'm going to set the bond at $10,000 personal. There are going to be no weapons while this matter is pending. No assault of contact with anybody. Mr. Montgomery, you violate that, probably going to be remanded to the remainder of this case is resolved. Do you understand, sir?
Pardon, you repeat that for me?
So I'm setting a personal bond. The bond is, so you don't have any, put any money to come up, to come out. There's going to be no assault of contact with anyone while this matter is pending. Sir, if you get into a fight, if you're causing another disturbance or you're assaulting anybody during this time, you are probably going to be remanded, which means you will be in custody until this matter is concluded.
All right, I understand.
All right, Mr. Hall, do you have anything further?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor, and thank the prosecution.
All right.
Likewise.
Next date is going to be August 20th, 2024, before Judge Sabri. And that concludes the hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.